Okay, there she is. I have to get this off the machine right away because I've actually got orders to fill immediately, and I need this machine. This was what I was worried about, trying to run this thing, and it's like a 24-hour print. It's the Silk PLA from Ujoybio, and it's the gold and red. So we did the human skull thing with lots of, you can see all kinds of tree support here. And I thought I'd save this for you guys, just see how it, oh boy, yeah, it's not coming off. All right, let's see if we can do it this way. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, it's not coming off. Oh no. I need the machine. Yep, come on. You can do this, maybe. Let's go. I need you. I need the machine for production. That's why I don't like doing this. Oh man, that's still stuck on there good. I'm gonna need both hands. Okay, when we come back. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Now it's loose. Yeah, there you go. It's all come off. It's all tree support, so I got quite a bit of cleaning involved, but kind of looks cool with the tree support on there. It's the anatomically correct human skull, but there's something here I didn't notice. It appears to be that it's in two-piece, so that's going to be interesting. Let's go over to the bench and clean her up. Well, apologize for the noise of the 3D printers running, but like I said, we're running behind again because I took 24 hours off to go ahead and run this, the skull. Now, there's one thing I didn't even notice about this when I put it on here was that it has this surgical cut. So I guess we're going to be able to pull that off and see the brain, or I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't got it off yet because look at all this tree support. You know, this tree support looks pretty cool, but look at the finish on this thing. It actually, for a 3D print, I have to admit, when you're doing, like, I wanted to do a T-Rex, and I started the T-Rex, and the problem was, and this is where we'll talk about Silk, I guess. The very first thing you're going to notice about Silk PLA, it doesn't like to stick to the bed. Yeah, you know. And yet, for some reason, this one, I don't know, I adjusted the leveling a little bit, went back at it, and it stuck so well that I had to take the sheet off and wiggle woggle a lot to try to break that free from the PEI sheet. But I got it off. But the finish on a bone type skull like the T-Rex or anything, no matter how much you know, anomalies show up in the 3D printing or something, it actually adds to the characteristic of a skull such as the T-Rex. I really wanted that darn T-Rex, but it just wasn't going to work. And it was a great big one, so it was going to be a large skull. This is supposed to be anatomically correct, but as far as the size goes, it looks to me like it's, what do you think? It's kind of small for a human skull, I think. Maybe not. I'm not a mortician or whatever, so I have no idea what they're supposed to look like as far as the actual size goes, but this feels, you know, it feels kind of undersized, and his eyes are too close together. Anyway, we will see if we can't get these tree supports off so we can take a better look at it. But the main thing I want to show you was this was a gold red. Oops, there we go, from Ujoybio. Yeah, 3D printing filament that's a PLA plus. So it's good material. The thing is with the spool, when you look at it, you see the gold on this side and you see the red over here. I was kind of expecting, I guess, a lot more gold finish than I've got here. It still has that gold in it, of course, but it's not as gold as I expected. Look at the tree supports under there. They look really gold. So I'm wondering, there's not much you can do about that. It's kind of like, you know, this is what you get, you know, and I think it came out really good. I just can't believe the amount of time it took, 24 hours of tying up a machine. That sounds, you know, if you have a hobby and you don't have a 3D printing farm like me, that 24 hours might not, you know, might mean nothing diddly to you, but for me, it was like, it's like, this is huge because I've got to make sure I've got enough inventory to squeak through that 24-hour period without needing the machine. And first thing this morning, this hadn't even come off yet, and it was already, yep, we've got orders to fill. We've got to get that 3D printer machine back up and running and making the stuff that I need for the stores and for the clients. And it was like, I've got this sitting there. I was like, I got to get it off. So it's working right now, running right now. In fact, what I'm doing today is I'm running off all my short spool stuff, and there's a couple different ways you can do that. Now with these Anycubics, I have found the best way to do it is to actually stop the machine. And I want to talk, and we'll come back to it a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about the quality of Anycubic as far as the large build plate and the machines go, because there was a comment made about oh, they're garbage, they're junk, don't use them, don't buy them, whatever. Yeah, I always get that kind of advice when it comes to 3D printing. Everybody says, Bambu Lab or nothing. So anyway, this is going to be cool because I've got to take my time and try to see if I can get these, they don't want to break off easily. Well, it feels like about an hour later and I'm still digging out tree support from this thing all over. Look at this back, it was a real mess. I've still got to clean that up yet. Also got some pieces in the corners. Couldn't believe how much tree support was caught up in the teeth and stuff, but it's starting to clean up and look pretty good. Anybody have any comment about how to remove tree support, or do you have a favorite tool or something? I'd love to hear about it. I use a little metal screwdriver like this generally and sort of dig stuff out, but like this morning I've got big gouges across my hands. I've got some blood coming out of me here in the thumbs and stuff where I ran into something sharp while I was trying to pull a tree support off. Cleaning a models on these 3D prints sometimes can be a real mess. So I want you to be careful, or be ready. Maybe wear gloves, I don't know, but I have pliers and some different screwdrivers and stuff, and I use them for getting the supports off, and different things different tools that I use. I also use a metal file and stuff to go into the smaller holes to clean them up and stuff sometimes after I'm printing. But a lot of my stuff's got to go out to clients that are some of them are fussy. One of them specifically I'm thinking was an airline pilot. Of course, everything had to be perfect, from a 3D print. Like, oh, okay, we'll see what we can do. But he was happy, so it was all good. The job on this thing is really good, but it's not, like I said, it just doesn't have that gold kind of look to it that I was really expecting. Look at the gold. I mean, look at that. That's what I was really looking for, was this. So kind of disappointed in that part of it, but at the same time it's still a really cool model. So it's like, yeah, let's go over to the Anycubic. I want to talk about the Anycubics machines. I'm going to give you some numbers and also talk about I want to show you something else there. Maybe I'll bring it over here to the bench for a minute. I've got a specific model that we run for clients, and I'm going to show you this, and it's just like, it can only be run on something large. If you don't have a big build plate, you can't do it, and a Bambu Lab is too small. Okay, the reason I'm doing this is because I've been criticized about buying these Anycubic machines, but this is not my product, but it's a good example of the situation. It's kind of like similar to the sort of problems that I have. The client wants this nice and smooth, so it's got to be printed upside down. This is 380 millimeters in length, so you're going to need a big flat plate to print it on. Again, your Bambu Lab is not going to be able to do this. In fact, we even took a look and see if we could print it this way or something, but that's just stupid. You have a lot of material waste. On a machine that's 420 millimeter square, you can easily print something like this. This particular, like I said, this is not even a product that I would sell or something, but it is something we were experimenting, taking a look at. And the whole problem is, this is very similar to the machine work that I do. And again, same sort of size and things. So it's a good example of why I do not have a Bambu Lab machine in here. And I have no reason to buy one. If I ever do buy one, it'll be a Blue Moon or... Wait a minute. Yeah, there it is. A Blue Moon. Yeah. This was another failure. Got this off Thingiverse and there was a problem. It's a Blue Moon, all right. I wanted to do a base and a bulb and stuff and have a little, Blue Moon lamp or something. And the problem was, this is solid. Yeah, it was by design, it was infill, so I'd have to completely configure the file somehow to make it a hollow moon. So it was like, well, so much for that project. Anyways, my point is, I've met a lot of criticism, and it's like, you want to do it in two-piece, the client won't accept it. So you can't. You've got to do it in one piece, and it's got to be, well, actually that and this, it's got to be flat, which another trick You can make something like this on a 3D printer, especially like an open, bed slinger, but I almost guarantee you're going to have warpage. So to get around the warpage problem, as I talked about before in the past, I put a piece of cloth over right as it finishes, and I make a couple of pieces of cloth even to help it hold the heat until it fully cools. Once it's fully cooled and we know it's not going to move around anymore, we can then peel it off the PEI sheet and say, okay, now we have some product. This is like I said, this is an unacceptable product to me. It's got a nice catch right here, which is not bad, but there's a couple problems back here with the holes that the fella has in this particular model, and also this needs a spacer gap and to be shimmed and stuff when it's installed. So it's kind of no, I wouldn't. I would highly recommend no. Don't make or sell this thing, because you'll have a lot of customers pretty upset with you. And we try to get rid of all those problems by redesigning this, checking it against the actual machine to see what it actually needs, because this is a part for a machine, obviously. And this is, just a sad situation here, but my whole point is the Bambu Lab machines, they're really nice. They won't make this. They can't. They just can't do it. And this is where 90% of my product is right now, is in that size range and has to have those kind of, specs. So am I going to spend money getting it? If you gave me a Bambu Lab machine tomorrow, I would probably have to resell it locally or something on the market, because it's like, it can't work in here. It doesn't do anything. It can't do what I need to do. Anyway, part of that argument is why, let's go over to the Anycubic machines. And I'm going to tell you some numbers that should shock you. This just finished a run. So we just finished doing some product. Right now the product is cooling down, and to control the cooling down, I've got like I said, a Microsoft towel laid over top right now till she fully cools enough to get her off that plate. Because it's got to be dead straight. We can't have anything else, anything unusual going on, or twisting or warping, anything like that. So this is the trick I use, just something I came up with. Now this is the Anycubic, but it is the Kobra 2 Max. We bought it a little over 2.5, almost 3 months ago now, and right around the turn of the year. So it's only been in operation for about 2.5 months. And I took a lot of criticism, including, oh, it's a piece of junk, it's a piece of garbage, don't buy that, don't waste your money, go buy a Bambu Lab. So we've covered the Bambu Lab again for about the 10th, maybe 15th time since last year. It's just not an option, okay? Now, I'm very tight with my money, so I found this at the Anycubic Refurbishment Center in California. But it was not refurbished. It needed to be repaired still, but they were letting them go as is. Your problem. $150. It was like, again, for $150 for this size of build plate and for the features it has, it was like, I think it'll do great. Let's bring it in. Let's do it. It took me 2 days to repair it. And then here's the other thing that really gets a lot of, I guess we'll call them, I'm going to call them, let's call it, right? They got a lot of morons, yeah, that will tell me, oh, that can't even make any money, blah, blah, blah. All right, this has been here for 2.5 months. It has produced close to, and in fact, it'll probably break that number by the end of the month, but it has produced close to $4,000 worth of product for us that has been turned over. Yeah, built on this machine right here. Yeah, and I don't know of any machine that you can pay $150 for and in 2.5 months have $4,000 return coming in from your investment. It's a 3D printer, and it's not even, like I say, I will agree, it's not a good one, but it will do exactly what I need, which a Bambu Lab cannot do. And in fact, it can produce parts that Bambu Labs cannot touch right now. In fact, there's a new Bambu Lab coming out, from what I understand, the build plate on it is going to be around 320 millimeter, which still doesn't reach this 420 millimeter job that I've got, the giant, whatever, sitting here. But my point is that I get a lot of, I take a lot of abuse on YouTube. You just do, you get it. I get great comments from some people that tell me, oh, if you tweak this in your settings, that'll fix that problem or something, and that's fantastic. And a lot of times they're right on, and I get some really cool ideas or some things thrown at me. But then I get these people that start telling me, oh, you're not making that kind of money. Yes, I am. You know, you can't do that. Like, yes, I can, and yes, I am. You know, and this is $150 turned in 2.5 months, $4,000 worth of product. In other words, we could take this to the dumpster tomorrow and throw it in the dumpster because the machine has, wow, more than paid for itself. It hasn't had any new parts or anything put on it since it, you know, went into production mode, I guess we'll say. And it is producing parts. In fact, as soon as we finish this clip, I need to put it back to work because I need more inventory off of this particular plate. So, you know, guys, girls, all I can tell you is that, you know, 3D printing, I design my own parts. I do all my drawings up in Fusion 360, and I've started using plasticity. So far I've had almost zero luck with plasticity. Yeah, I haven't had anything good happen with that. I'm still fighting with the software and not able to get the stupid things done with simple things like just making a hole in a model on plasticity seems to take umpteen steps, and I don't seem to be able to get the hole where I want it and exactly the size I want things, and it's very frustrating right now. Fusion 360, of course, you just draw it up, bang, there's where I want my hole. They have a fantastic program there. I really love it. But I do it myself, and I do all my products that way, and then we build these products here on these machines and we sell them. And we really started with a smaller machine that wasn't able to do like what's laying on the bed right now. I'm trying to think which one that is. Yeah, what's laying on the bed right now is was too big for my old machines, and it was one of the reasons why I really needed to step up and said, okay, we need to spend some money, get a machine with a build plate big enough that I can get these things on here, get them, you know, situated the way I want. But there was two things that happened. Not only was I able to extend and go into further product modes and have larger dimensions, but also the old machine was taking 14 hours to build this. Well, not that particular product, but taking 14 hours for products. This one does it in about 3.5 hours. And it's a huge game changer for me. And at the same time, also, it was like, if it will produce the parts and everything will sell and be good and the client will accept the parts, that sort of thing, it was like, then, you know, this is exactly what we need in here. On my show, I first introduced this thing a little bit and explained, you know, where I found it. They also have refurbished, which I think has a warranty, like 1 or 2 year warranty, whatever. And I think they're selling for somewhere around, I think around 300, might be lower than that right now. I'm not really sure where the price is at right now, but I'll provide a link in the description below where you can find this particular machine. They also have a smaller one sitting over here. This is the Kobra 2, but it's the Kobra 2, I think they call it Kobra 2 Plus or something. And it's, again, it's not bad. It is a 320 by 320 build plate, which will not allow me to run all the products that I manufacture, but it will allow me to run some of my big products, which again, do not fit at this time in anything that's made by Bambu Lab, you know. But the worst thing I had in here, and I've used it for years and I struggled with it, was the longer LK5 Pro. The thing is that is a fantastic machine. It really is. But it is so slow, it's just not worth having. And it's really a shame because it really is a really awesome printer. And I can't remember the size. I think it's around 300 by 300, something like that. So it allowed me to do some things, but it's got to go. It's still here, but that thing has got to go. I also have one over here that's 320 by 320, but it's an old machine, and again, dead slow. I've actually asked some locals if they would like to have it, because they can have it for free, just to, you know, give it away. Maybe I can get Ken to drive down from Cleveland, Texas, and pick this up and haul it out of here or something. But this one here has just done that much work, and at this point in time, it hasn't broken down yet. Technically, again, I'll go back to what I said. If this was to break down, I could carry it to the trash can and just say, "Okay, goodbye. We're done. You know, we've got what we need out of you." And from what I can see right now, it looks like it will continue to run and be a great machine for quite a few years to come. And I'm not a big fan of Anycubic or anything. It's just the machine will do what I want. It'll do it as fast as I want. So it was like win-win-win. And I can pick another one of these up refurbished apparently for, like I said, I think right around 300. And I would not, if this broke down right now and it couldn't be repaired by me, it would be, you know, it would be not even a thought in my head to say, okay, let's just go get the refurbished unit from Anycubic and throw it here in the space and start running it, because I don't have any problem with this machine. I don't know of anything else out there. The other one that was I was on the border with was made by Alegu, and I was watching reviews, and the only problem I had with the Alegu machine was the cost was sort of a bit, it was higher than this, and it was a bit too high. They didn't have refurbished or repair as is, you know, units like this, and they just didn't have that. And other than that, it was sort of like bang for bang. It was like, yeah, it's almost the same machine. But I didn't like certain things about the Alegu, and also there are certain things, of course, about this machine I wasn't too fussy on. But it was like, well, you know, we gotta make a decision, and my decision was I was going to buy an Alegu. And then I ran into this and said, okay, I guess well, this is a really dirt cheap deal. I was like, I think I might be walking off a cliff or something, but let's buy the machine and just, you know, find out where we stand. Now, it's now been 2.5 months since we've had it in here. It's been working hard like a little soldier, and it's been producing the parts we need for exactly the quality and everything I need. So it was like, this was actually a fantastic investment. Now, one thing I don't do is I don't use the filament runout sensor when I'm running short spools. I have two things I can do. I have a splicer, but the splicer is a little bit unreliable when you get into PLA plus. For some reason, it seems like it hits a wall there, and I can't seem to find the right time to where we can get the filaments to, you know, splice together properly. So what I've done is I'll just put the machine, I'll watch the machine when it gets down to that last little bit of the spool, and I'll actually come off the spool here a little bit, pause the machine print, which you can hit the pause button on it, and just take that little bit off, feed up a brand new start off another short spool, long spool, whatever, and go back to work. You know, I just tell it, yep, go ahead, go back to printing, and it'll do it, and it does it great. There's, again, no problem, no issues. That we just ran off 2 short spools today so far. I'm going for a third one after this clip is done. Like I said, we're going to get that off that build plate. It's still pretty warm, and as soon as that cools down, we'll get it off the build plate, and then we'll start her back up, because she's got to make more parts for me yet. It's just comments about, you know, you're wasting your money, how dare you, you know, man, you're crazy, you're buying a piece of junk, and you need to buy a Bambu Lab. Anywho, let's go back over to the bench and finish this up. Okay, I'm going to give you the big close-up here, but, you know, there it is. Yeah, I think that came out, I guess, pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Has the proper cranial cracks or whatever showing, so it is anatomically correct. If you're thinking about a 3D printing farm and scheduling certain things, one of the things that I do every couple of weeks, since we've got the Anycubic in as another good example, even if the machines don't look like they need it, I shut them down and do a full, you know, bed leveling routine with them, and also, of course, clean the PEI sheet with some that wonderful alcohol. We call it, was it? Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, 91%, whatever. You can buy it at Walmart for, like, you know, a couple dollars for a big bottle of it. But there's certain routine maintenance things that I do with my machines every couple of weeks, and that helps to keep me probably out of trouble too, because if you've ever noticed with the 3D printers, sometimes the leveling slowly gets out of whack, and then all of a sudden one day you've got, you know, you ruin a good piece that you're making, because the leveling has gone, you know, bed leveling has just gone a little too far out of offsetting. So every couple of weeks, you just go ahead and just adjust it. Just run through the auto, you know, leveling or something program, just to make sure everything's cool. We get a lot of trolls. So, and the last few weeks, I guess the last couple of weeks has gotten really kind of interesting with some of the comments that came in over time that were just like, and it just slowly kind of builds up and irritates you, because you're just like, you know, I'm running a 3D printing farm, we're making good money, we do video shows about tools and welding and plasma cutters and, you know, even a hammer, whatever comes in, you know, we'll do some reviews on it generally. Sorry about all the boxes sitting over there too. There are more boxes coming because theoretically we're going to be moving at some point in the near future, so I'm trying to box stuff up and get ready now because there is just there is truckloads of stuff that has to go out of here for the move. So it's like, yuck, yeah. But meantime, I'm going to keep the videos going as long as I can. And once we get moved, we'll continue the videos, of course. Also, the 3D print farm, once it gets moved, we'll go back into production again, too. Location-wise, it's better where I'm at here than where I'm going. But you know what? It's like, you just deal with it, you know. Most people just look at shipping costs and stuff, but I look at what's available and how long it will take to source things if I need something. And yeah, that's going to change, and I don't like that. But again, if you're moving, it's like I don't really have a choice on that one, so we'll have to deal with it, cross that line when we get to it, something like that. Anyways, gonna be a shout out to Mike today. Works with knows Ken up there in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So I just thought I'd say hi to Mike because he says he's still watching. Mike, you still watching? Okay. Meantime, I'm going to get out of here. Hey, thank you for watching God Your Tools. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out of here. Over and out.